Hi, my name's Dale McHenry. Behind me is Jake. I guess he'll be my co-host. Anyway, I've been enjoying a lot of the videos I've been watching from the VC and other music lovers, and thought I would try shooting my own video and trying to become part of the discussion. And I thought, since I've been seeing a lot of videos for the name game, I thought I would go ahead and do that. That might be a good icebreaker for me. Give you an idea of what my taste in music are like. I really am kind of all over the map, so I think that'll probably be reflected in my choices for the name game. So let's get started. My choice for the letter D: Deliverance, Weapons of Our Warfare. This is the new 2017 reissue of this thrash metal classic. Probably a lot of folks have seen this before. Very, very happy to have this in the collection. It is the version with the blue and black swirl vinyl and custom centerings there. I've loved this album for quite some time. I've had a copy of the CD since college, early 90s when it came out, and in fact I had a poster in my dorm room of it for the longest time, and I don't know what happened to it, but I tracked down one online and bought it and framed it, and so here we go. That will be going up on the wall sooner than later. So my choice for the letter A: Ace Frehley's solo album with Kiss. Love this album. Hands down the best of the Kiss solo albums. Love the song Speedin' Back to My Baby. Perhaps the greatest guitar riff and greatest guitar solo I've ever heard. I showed a picture of this on my Facebook page a couple weeks ago. A couple buddies of mine, Greg and Ken, let me know that Paul Stanley's solo record was better, and to them I would say, you're wrong. You're just wrong. This is hands down the best of the Kiss solo albums. Okay, my choice for the letter L: Larry Norman, Only Visiting This Planet. This is I believe 72, 71 or 72, somewhere in there. One of the first Christian rock albums. The songwriting on this is just tremendous. He was doing not just writing songs about the faiths, he was also writing songs about political and social issues of the time, and that's something that Christian music kind of got away from for the longest time. Larry was always a little ahead of everyone else, and he was a great influence on a number of people. I believe he was heavily influenced Bob Dylan and the gospel trilogy that Bob did. This is the first of Larry's trilogy, which came first. This particular copy, I noticed when I got it, I just got it recently. It is a white label. Let's see, white label promo. Very cool. I'll say this about Larry too. He was ahead of his time. Before Spinal Tap's goof, Larry had already gotten Stonehenge right. All right, for the letter E, Emmylou Harris, Roses in the Snow. Pick this album. It's just brilliant, brilliant album. Great musicianship on here. Tony Rice played on this album. Jerry Douglas played on this album. Vocals contributed by people like Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Linda Ronstadt, Dolly Parton, and of course, Emmylou's so talented in her own right. Just a fantastic album. Pick this up out of bargain bin for 25 cents. Not a bad pickup. So on to my last name. My choice for him, the heavy metal album that I listened to the most last year. Actually, the album I listened to the most, regardless of genre. Megadeth, Dystopia. Oh man, this album just blew me away when it came out. Some of the guitar riffs on this album are just outstanding. Love this cover, but the music just blew me away. I haven't been a Megadeth fan for long. I kind of came on board around when I found In-Game in a used CD shop, and picked it up and loved it. And then, of course, when this came out, I got it immediately, and it just blew my mind. Great album. I know a lot of folks, when they were doing their countdowns, I was a little disturbed that this album didn't grab more #1 spots than what it did. Fantastic album. For C, I chose The Crucified, The Pillars of Humanity. This is an album, a metal, kind of a metal, thrash, punkish album. Great album. It's a reissue. I'm just now kind of getting on board with Crucified. Saw this album posted in a metal group on Facebook, and the guy he basically wanted what he paid for it because he had accidentally gotten 2 copies. I was very glad to take one of the copies off his hand. This particular reissue is kind of looks white that way, but it's actually clear. Very glad to have that album. H. Had to pick this one up. Love the cover artwork. Listen to this band so much in high school. Hall & Oates, live at the Apollo with David Ruffin and Eddie Kendrick. To the Temptations. Love the music on this. Just absolutely love it. Probably listen to this band. There are several albums I could have picked to show, and I have some that could have been. I just had to pick this one because of the opportunity to also get the Temptations in my little name game here. E, the second E, not the easiest letter, and of course I have 2 of them in my name, but not a real chore, especially when I have an album like this. Earth, Wind and Fire, Touch the World. had this album since I was a teenager. My old hometown, Danville, there was an African American gentleman by the name of Obie had a shop, Obie's Record Shop. It's not there anymore. But I used to go in, sit down and talk to Obie and just talk about life, and he was always good for talking. And we'd listen to music, and this is one of the albums that I got turned on to at that time, and it's holds a very sentimental place for me. Nat King Cole, Unforgettable. Picked this up 25 cents in a used bin. Just glad to have it. Of all the crooners, Sinatra, Torme, Tony Bennett, I think Nat King Cole is my favorite. And I like all those guys. And I have albums by all those guys, but he's probably the favorite. Such a classic voice. Can't really beat Nat King Cole. And then finally, no, I have 2 letters left. R. This album was a world changer for me. This man's voice is one of the most visceral. Alright, I'm getting tongue-tied. His voice is, just listening to his voice is a visceral experience, almost as much as it is auditory. He sings with everything he has. I listened to this album the first time and just could not believe what I was hearing. Today it's a little dated, kind of's got that 80s synthesizer sound to it, but I picked Russ Taff, Walls of Glass. My money, he is the greatest vocalist that's ever walked this planet. You just can't beat him. And this was the album where I discovered him, and so it holds a special place for me too. Russ Taff, Walls of Glass. I believe he won a Grammy for this album, 1983. Now, finally, this album, I can't say I have a lot of experience with this band, but it was a nice pickup. I picked it up for $0.25. They sound great. I have a CD by them as well. I think that one, I believe it's titled Face Melter, and this was Y&T. And the album is called In Rock We Trust. Who could resist an album with a robot on the front? Yeah. That's all you have to know. There's a robot on the front, and that's a pretty good album seller for me. Knew it had to rock because the robot's got an electric guitar. So. Anyway, that's the name game for me. I believe I failed to mention it earlier, but if I do use a username, it's DolfanDale. As you can see right about here is my dolphin helmet. I'm not a fan of dolls, as some folks try to make it out to be, but no, I'm a Dolphin fan from 75 on, and that's where the username comes from. This is Jake. He'll be my co-host. He's a good boy. He was named after, I adopted a little kitten with him, and I had named them Jake and Elwood after two of the guys, the two characters in the greatest musical ever, the Blues Brothers. And unfortunately, Elwood was born with a disease, and I only had him about 6 months before he passed. But I still have Jake, and he's my buddy. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, and hopefully the conversation will keep going. So thank you again. Good night.